In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to add filters for columns, as you can see below, for text input search or drop-down search. So for example, if we search for Abby, it would process the search and return the results for Abby. Yeah, it took a while, but it works. So how does it work in the code? In the code, it's pretty easy actually. Let's start with the text search, and select search is a little more complicated. So this is what we're adding in the footer, so tfoot, table footer, and we add 3 fields which are almost identical, and we add data column parameters. So which column number should it search in? And we add placeholder and we add class, the same class. And then in JavaScript, after initializing all the table, we assign the data table to a variable, and then we can reuse it in the search. So this is the piece for filter input for text search. So on key up, it's a JavaScript jQuery code. On key up of that function, of that text field, we specify column by this number that was specified above, and then we search by the value of that text box, and we click draw. We call draw, which means it should be a new draw for search for all the table. And if we look at the console, at the network part, so for example, if we search for Abby B, there's a new draw, number 9, and it returns more results. But if we search for Abigail, for example, there are 2 new draws. So for every letter, for every key up, we have a new draw. That's why it took a while to return results, because it performed not one search for 4 letters, but 4 searches for every letter. And you can actually stop that from, like, you can try to filter out. So for example, if the value is more than 3 characters, so search only then, or something like that. Another example is for filter select. It's almost identical. So this part is actually identical. So on select, we get the value, just different method, different event. For text fields, it's key up. For select, we can use change, so change of the value. Everything else is identical. What is different though is selecting the populating of various options for select, because they don't come from anywhere, they don't come from table. Well, they would come from table if we try to make it from table. Actually, let's refresh the whole page. If we try to populate select drop-downs from table, then it would return only first 10 results, because we're filtering 10 results out of 5,000. And if we try to get like table.column.something in JavaScript, it would return only 10. So we need to populate that big list from the backend. And this is where we get back to our main controller, which is this one, and we do customer all and do two operations with collections, which are again almost identical. So I'm sorting all customers by first name, then getting only first name value and making it only unique values. And same with last names. And in the blade, it's simple for each. That would be probably more readable. So for each first names, for each last names, and that's it. And that totally works. So we can go for Abigail. Again, it processes new draw. And for last name, for example, if we search for something non-existent, it performs actually search for both of those drop-downs. So let's return to empty value, so then it would search only for Abigail. And now let's select Collins, for example. Collins, a lot of last names here, and it should return only 1. So this is how it works. If the value is empty, it still performs the search, but with that empty value, which means it returns only Collins last name. So that's it, simple search and filter by columns.